Are most VPN services a scam? Well, in one simple word, yes. But the reasons for why and how is a little bit more complicated, so let me explain. The first thing to make it clear is I'm not talking about any specific VPN service. I'm just talking about the industry as a whole. Or said another way, if you are one of the VPN services out there, don't sue me just because I'm exposing all of your scams. Okay, with that out of the way, not a single week goes by without another significant hacking or identity theft story hitting the news. With this constant media attention to this, more and more people are becoming aware of the risks and they want to keep themselves safe and secure online. With an ever-increasing market of available customers, unscrupulous companies swoop in for the picking. And it seems like there's a brand new VPN service that opens their door every few weeks. Most of them claim that they are 100% secure and private while you're browsing the internet. But how can you know which ones are legitimate? Unfortunately, it's not always easy to tell. Most people look for service reviews online, and they look for these reviews to kind of tell them the unbiased evaluations of different providers. However, the sad truth is that many of these review sites are either owned by affiliate partners that are paid to recommend the service, or worse yet, they're owned by the VPN services themselves, just writing fake reviews to boost their ratings. Then you add on top of that the thousands and thousands of YouTube videos out there from various content creators that are all being paid to promote and speak about specific services. The amount of sponsorship money that these companies are willing to throw around for YouTube influencers is insane. Unfortunately, I found that many VPNs engage in very misleading marketing practices, sales gimmicks, and outright scams. Since most people don't really know what to watch out for, they quickly fall victim to these common VPN scams. Now, because VPNs are often located overseas, they're pretty much never held accountable for their dishonest marketing and fraudulent behavior. Now, first off, let's just ignore the obvious fakes and scams. This means any of the services that are offering free VPN or lifetime access for one low payment of $49. Those are 100% without a doubt a scam. They are either a fly-by-night operation that just takes your $50 and they run, or they're harvesting your data and selling the data to information brokers. Simply put, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So with those obvious scams aside, let's focus on the bigger players in the industries, ones that are written about in mainstream media daily, and they are touted as safe, secure, and reliable. Now, remember how I said the big players in the VPN space are spending vast fortunes sponsoring YouTubers? I've been approached by many of these services offering me $2,000 per video plus commissions. And I'm a small influencer. Across all my platforms, I have an audience of about 100,000 people. Just imagine what they are offering to larger channels that can easily justify $10, $15, $20, $50,000 or more per sponsored video. And that doesn't include the commissions on top of things. Some of these VPN services are offering 30 to 100%. Yeah, you heard me right. In some cases, they are willing to pay the influencer 100% of the revenue on the first sale. The problem is, these numbers simply do not add up. Now let's do some simple math with a few of the top companies and show you how, in my opinion, this industry could not possibly be profitable without some shady actions going on. And of course, remember, I'm using a handful of companies by their name. I'm not saying they're scams. I'm just saying the industry seems to be pretty scammy. First up is NordVPN, and they offer a generous commission of 100% of the first month's sale when a user signs up for a month-to-month plan. Of course, you could just say, well, that's the loss leader, and the company is willing to forego the revenue of the first month as commission because they know the customer will stay and pay monthly every single month. Okay, I can buy that. But let's put that aside for a minute and cover some of the numbers. 1 month of service is $11.95 with a 100% commission. That means $11.95 goes to the affiliate member and $0 is kept by Nord. A 1-year service plan is $67.32 with a commission of 40%. That's $26.92 in commission, leaving $40.39 left over. A 2-year service plan is $99.63 with a commission of 30%. That means $29.88 is paid in commission and $69.74 is kept. ExpressVPN offers flat commission per sale and it is as follows. 1 month of service, $12.95 with a $13 commission. So they lose 5 cents, whatever. 6 months of service, $59.94 with a $20 commission, leaving $39.94. 1 year of service is $80.04 with a $36 commission, leaving $44.04. Finally, Surfshark, which is actually part of NordVPN. It's owned by the same parent company, but they use 2 different marketing and pricing structures, whatever. Their prepaid 2-year plan is only $49 with a 40% commission, which means $16 is paid in commission and $29.40 is kept by the company. These 3 services would have an average on the high end of $12.95 per month if you paid monthly, which pretty much nobody does, all the way down to the lowest price of $2.04 per month with Surfshark if you prepay. This leaves very little money to pay for the VPN service of actually operating their business, paying for the servers, the bandwidth, and everything else. In addition to privacy and security, one of the biggest features that VPN services brag about is the ability to watch streaming TV that's currently unavailable in your country. The problem is that streaming videos use a lot of bandwidth, which is very costly. Well, I don't know the exact numbers that the VPN services are paying for or what companies they use to host all of their servers. I will use Amazon's cheapest bulk rate in my calculations. A recent study from Nielsen states that the average American watches 4 hours and 49 minutes of streaming content daily. Wow, that's a lot of content. Hopefully you guys are watching my videos that much. But anyways, all right, putting that all aside, let's do some basic math here and prove how these companies are impossible to be profitable. 4 hours of daily watching of 4K video is 28 gigs of data per day. 30 days is 840 gigabytes of bandwidth, utilized by that single customer over the month. Their bandwidth costs would exceed $40 for this customer. Now, okay, not every customer is going to watch 4K. So let's do the math at 1080p HD videos, which comes in at 16 gigabytes per day or 360 gigs per month. That bandwidth cost to the VPN company is $18 per month. Now, of course, not all customers use that much data, but remember, the Nielsen study is an average, so some are going to use way more. And remember, this is only the bandwidth costs associated with running a VPN. It does not cover the cost of servers, and we'll get to that in a second. Now, I know some of the tech-savvy viewers are probably screaming at their screens right now, calling me a complete idiot for how I calculated the bandwidth costs, arguing that the VPN services would just lease a dedicated connection and they would pay for fixed speeds and only pay for the IP transit. Yes, probably true. So in these cases, each location that they operate servers in would cost them approximately $7,000 for a dedicated 10 gigabit connection per month, which is the absolute minimum that they need, as many of these VPNs claim that they are using 10 gigabit connections. But they would need far more to be able to give that much bandwidth to multiple users. Either way, we'll calculate it at one of these. So with simple math, $7,000 times 170 cities, which is the average number that the VPN services are claiming that they offer service in. Some are way more, some are way less, but they kind of average. That's $1.1 million per month just in bandwidth charges. Which, okay, so maybe they have enough customers to cover that. We're going to get to that part in a second. Just remember that number. We also still need to cover the costs of servers. Most of these providers are claiming that they have approximately 5,000 total servers in their inventory, which you could estimate, depending on what power and speed, etc. the servers are, anywhere from $200 on the low end to $500 on the medium to high end per cloud server. This means altogether, their bandwidth and server costs would range anywhere from $2.1 million to $3.6 million per month in costs. And for them just to break even, they would need 162,000 paying customers paying $13 per month. But nobody actually pays that per month, except for the occasional customer trying them out. Any customer that's really using the service long term is paying the much cheaper $2 per month, which would require over 1 million paid subscribers every single month paying their money. Also, remember the millions of dollars paid in endorsements to YouTubers each year. On top of these costs for servers and bandwidth, there's also the per sale commission. The numbers I just quoted were with zero commission, zero cost. It was just the cost of the servers and bandwidth to break even if they were keeping 100% of the money. It is simply impossible for this business model to be successful unless the industry is hiding something. And this brings me to my last thought. How are these companies profitable with such small margins and incredibly high costs of services that they sell? They must be bringing in enough money to pay for this service. Either they bet on the possibility that someone pays for 2 years, only use it for a month or two, and then discontinues use, yet they've prepaid for 2 years. That's possible, but that's also pretty risky. Simply put, they must be bringing in cash from somewhere else. They claim that they do not sell your private data. That's the only thing that I could think of that would be valuable enough for them to sell. Or, are there larger hidden nation-state operations at play? Now, I don't want to get all conspiratorial, and I have zero evidence for this from these companies that I've mentioned in this video, but I still have a little thought experiment here for us. If you were a nation-state wanting to get details on political dissidents, wouldn't the best method of spying be offering a covert application that concealed itself as privacy and VPN service and getting people to install it on their computer with their credit card and their personal information? Wouldn't this be a pretty convenient way to get that data that you want on people? Whether they are selling your data or spying on behalf of foreign governments. Either way, the economics of VPN service industry is a little bit on the murky side.